Hello, parents. We're going to quickly go through what kind of a week in science will look like this year in my science class. And just to help you help your student, we're going to start from the very beginning and show you how to get there. So to get to Canvas, you can, if they're on their Chromebook especially, or if they're logged into Chrome using their school district account, there'll be a little bookmarks folder right here. And if they click on that, the fourth one down will be Canvas. Otherwise, they can log in through the Launchpad, and there'll be a icon for Canvas. Or they can type in rsd.instructure.com, and that will bring it up as well. Okay, once they've done that, they can click on the tile for our class, which is going to be Physical Science Middle School Reddick, and it's going to take them to this homepage. So one little bonus is on my homepage, I have kind of each week's schedule, so they know which class period is supposed to take place when. The announcements will usually lead them to some useful information. The syllabus gives them the rules for the class. They could click on the grades button to see how they're doing, and they can use this button right here to go to the Zoom classes. But the button that's going to take them to their assignments is current module. A module is a group of assignments that are basically in order. So we've already done a couple of these. Last week we did the practice module to get them started. And I'm going to walk you through module number 1. But the basic idea is they start with a discovery activity, which is a really short activity. Usually they just have to add to a conversation or submit some small written answer. Then the next 3 are different types of journals, and those will all go in their science journal. Only one of them is direct notes. Then there's a practice assignment, and then there's an extension assignment where they're doing some deeper thinking. And then to test their understanding for the week, they do a quick quiz, and then they have a science mastery activity. And what that is, it could be a lab, it could be an activity where they're going to be actively engaged in what we're supposed to be doing, and that should show their understanding for the week. So here's this week's. And I would highly encourage them, they can hide these as they go, but if they click on current module, it's going to bring them right to the module that we're working on. So this week we did our discovery activity already, and they just had to submit a little response to that. So they watched a quick video and submitted their response. Once they've done that, it will unlock journal number 1A. So the A journals are the notes, and these have, usually it'll be a set of slides. And those slides will be posted on Monday mornings for all classes, and they can pre-read these slides if they'd like. Usually it's going to be relatively short, so not 20, 25 slides, usually more like 10 or 15. And then this week we have a little bonus because we have a little graphic underneath that shows the main ideas that they should learn. Good news, like I said, this will be posted ahead of time and it's going to stay posted. So a kid can always go back and double check these things. So they can always go back and add to their notes. Usually when they're taking the notes for the A journal, we're going to go through the slides together in class. And the kids have some options. They could take some notes as we go, or they could sit and listen. And then together afterward, we're going to decide what the most important information is and put it into their journal. And I'll do that along with them so they can see an example. Okay, once they've taken those notes, and they click mark as done in the top right corner. You can't see it on mine because I'm not a student, but they got to click that. It'll turn green, and then it'll let them move on to the next journal. And they can return to the modules and step through it that way. Or they can just keep clicking next and move on that way. So if they want to, they can always go back. So the practice is another thing they'll do in their journal. And that's usually the B journal, since this is our official module number 1, and it's notes type B. It's going to be a practice. It's usually going to be a couple of questions they just need to answer that they will use their notes to answer. Now, what's kind of nice is what Mr. Barr and I kind of decided is that we need to have some questions there for practice. So basically, we gave them the choice. So there's 4 questions here. They just need to pick 2 of those and answer them in their notebook in the very next page. So they'll title that page, they'll add it to their table of contents, and then they'll pick 2 of these questions to answer. The good news is, let's say I pick 1 and 2, and they want to review for a test or a quiz, or they just need more practice, they can always come back and try 3 and 4 on their own to get a little bit more experience with the material. So let's say they finished B, they click mark as done up here on the top right corner. Then they can click next. And that'll take them to Journal C. So Journal C is usually an extending your knowledge. So it's something that they're going to do that's going to kind of create more depth for their understanding. It's a deeper version of practice. So last week, for example, to practice, they had to write a little discussion to someone based upon an example set of notes. So they gave some feedback. This one, they're going to write their own claim about something they're interested in to give them more practice. So something that requires a little more depth, a little more thinking, but usually a little more creativity, and sometimes these are a little more fun too. Once they finish that, I'm going to go back to the modules to show you this. So they can always go back home and click on current module. Then there's going to be a quiz. They'll just be step by step, usually probably around 5 questions. If they can pass that, which would be 3 out of the 5 points, and we're trying to make those relatively simple for the kids, and they are allowed to use their journal on that. So hopefully they pass relatively easily, and then they can move on to the mastery activity. And the mastery activity is their final activity. Usually this one's going to be submitted through Canvas because these 2 pieces at the back end will be graded. So we're going to try to do most of the journaling stuff the first day of class, finish it the second day, and then set them up to do the quiz and the mastery activity on the second day of class during the week. Okay, I think that gives you a pretty good idea of kind of the general pattern in the class, and there'll be some variation in the types of journals and types of quizzes and types of activities. However, for the most part, we're going to follow this little pattern each week so the kids have an idea of what to expect. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, make sure you email me or contact me through Canvas, and I'll do my best to help. Thank you.